Many thanks. What a great welcome. Great to be here. We'd like to discuss a little bit in the next 25 minutes. What have we seen in 2020? What's upcoming 21? A lot of kind of quants, but also some qualitative information and insights for you to give you a better idea and understanding of what's coming next. Who are we? The two of us just introduced, and as you can see, two of us really loving travel. We love travel together with our families, either kind of in the north, kind of in the fjord in Norway or in the mountains or anywhere else. So seriously, if we talk travel, we mean it. What are we up for today? After a little introduction about Statista, then we go into the travel 2020 and the plans for 21. More importantly, and probably of interest for the majority of you. Before we go into what types of vacations and destinations are up and running, are trending, what's a new kind of trend, what's a fundamental development, and then we also take a little bit of perspective in terms of, okay, what are the tech initiatives underneath and how do they evolve over time, and also what's up there. So without any further ado, let's go in it. Statista, majority of you might know, a place and a company established 14 years ago in Hamburg, around 1,000 employees by now. And what we try to do is that we actually combine a lot of kind of existing data, over 22,000 data sources, with primary market research. And for today, we brought a blended mix of these two methods to you, actually. We do have the platform, we do individual kind of services, projects, tasks, and at the end of the day, we truly believe that it's around, hey, how do I visualize and kind of make data work that actually I can also observe it and like it. And that's enough from us. Claudia, do you want to guide us through the first kind of content pieces?
There we go. Sorry for that. I think it should work now. So as Peter said, we are delighted to present some very recent insights from a survey that we did in Germany, the US, and China on the travel habits 2020, and also looking at the travel plans for this year. And we have asked people what they're planning to do for this year. On the left-hand side, you can see that it's around 70% that are already planning to travel in 2021 or intending to do so soon. The green bars show the people that are currently already planning one or several trips. The yellow ones are the ones that intend to do so soon. And it's only around 1/4 or 1/3 of the populations that say that they do not currently intend to plan a trip or are planning a trip. So it really looks like we all want to travel again, and that we want to take off again as soon as we can. On the right-hand side, you see the results for the question regarding the spendings. If the people think if they will spend more in the next 12 months compared to the last 12 months. And here it's about 1/4 to 1/3 of the population that says, yes, I think I will spend more in the upcoming 12 months. The yellow ones are the ones that said, I will spend just as much. So travel behavior will mostly stay the same regarding spendings. But it's only small shares, like 9%, 13% and 16% that say that they will travel less. And there's some that are still undecided, probably due to the unknown situation due to the vaccines and the testing strategy. So overall, lots of people want to travel again and want to spend their money on travel, which is a good sign, we feel. Also, we have asked about the travel frequency when the coronavirus pandemic has passed compared to the pre-corona times. And the green bars show the people that say they think after the pandemic they will travel more short term in the light green, or in the long run also in the dark green. And the red ones is the ones that say they will travel less, but it's only very small shares. So especially in China, we see that they feel they will travel a lot more long term. And also, looking back at the past 12 months and the number of trips that people took, it is not surprising that there was not much travel going on in the past 12 months due to the situation. And especially in Germany and the US, it was 40% to almost half of the population in the US that said they did not take a trip at all in the past 12 months. And we also asked for the reasons for not traveling or not planning to travel in 2021. So on the left-hand side, you see the numbers for the looking back at the last 12 months, and on the right-hand side for the reasons for not planning a trip. And it is very striking that the main reason for people not to travel or not planning to travel is that they do not feel comfortable or do not feel comfortable traveling during the pandemic. This reason even outweighs the situation, the lockdown, and the actual possibilities to travel. So it's only second place that the people say they did not travel or do not plan to travel because they were not able to travel where they wanted to. So we can see that safety is more important than the actual travel limitations. A short look at the business travel, and here, we can see that business trips are affected more even than the private trips, and they seem to be more affected in the long run also. So looking at the last 12 months on the left-hand side, we see that, over 50% in all countries, but up to 80% in Germany, there were no business trips in the past 12 months. And also looking ahead, we can see that there's big shares that do not intend to plan a business trip currently. So the shares are almost vice versa than for the private trips, where we saw a great demand coming up as soon as it will be possible again. But here for the business trips, there's no real increase for this year expected from our side, from what we found in the survey. The next chapter, we will look at the types of vacations that the people took and are planning, and also the destinations. And first of all, we looked at the types of private trips that people took in the last 12 months on the left-hand side, and also that they plan for 2021. And we can see that especially in Germany and the US, it's visiting family and friends that is on top of the list. Not only for the past 12 months, but also for planned for this year. So we really think that the pandemic has brought us a great desire and longing for togetherness and being together again with our close ones. In China, it's more the city breaks and the city trips that they took, the people that traveled, or also that they are planning. And what we also found is that the beach vacation is last year and already will be in the upcoming year very popular in all three countries. So that we feel is like an evergreen across the globe, where everyone loves their beach vacation and wants to return to that as soon as it's possible again. Also, especially in China, the vacation in the mountains, hiking, trekking, and also package tours seem quite popular in China, and even more so than the visiting family friends. So that is seems more like a Western thing to do, but a great longing for that in Germany and the US. And also, alongside that, we asked for the types of lodging that people took last year and also that they're planning for this year. And it's in all countries that the hotel is the most preferred lodging type. And not surprising, the overnight visits at family and friends is very popular in Germany and the US also. But top of the list is definitely the hotel stays, which should be a good sign for the industry. And also, we asked for the destinations in the last 12 months on the left-hand side, and also the destinations that are planned for this year. And we can see that, especially in the US and China, people traveled within their own country. You can see that in the green circles. Those are the ones that traveled within their own country in the last 12 months and also are planning to do so in the next 12 months. And that is the vast majority in China and the US. Where in Germany, we find that, yes, domestic travel and travel within Germany is very popular, but also there were trips taken to other countries and also a planned to go to other countries. We feel or we assume that that is or could be maybe a European thing to do, or also due to the closeness of countries and having more possibilities to change the countries more quickly. So these are the findings that I would like to share with you today regarding our survey. And now I hand back to Peter for the future trends and the summary.
Considering the status quo also involves how is it kind of evolving and what's coming up. And therefore, we as a market research company, but I guess the majority of you, ladies and gentlemen, are always interested in what's coming up. What's for sure is that things have been changing and will change quite significantly. And therefore, it's also not surprising that actually 1 in 3 Americans and Germans actually say that their travel habits will change. And looking to China, to the majority of the Asian population, actually, we see that the number is even higher, which you see in green. So around every other kind of Chinese person says, okay, my travel habits will change. And that's also looking back, that's obviously something which really comes out and is striking these days. The question is how. Before we go into the how, it's regarding what is it? What are the reasons behind this fundamental change? And you do have cases and reasons which lie into the personal circumstances, which actually haven't changed much. You see on the right-hand side, and also are not the main drivers. You do have something around kind of society and political kind of factors. Before you then, it gets interesting, where you see that there's something around sustainability and environment. So roughly 20% in the US and Germany, but already kind of 45% of the people say that actually aspects with respect to the environmental impact actually change the way they travel. And then you do have very related topics to our pandemic, being it health or obviously being it the coronavirus, which actually then comes down to, okay, here I do need to change, or I do want to change my travel behaviors. So how does it change? So we do have, if we go through the main aspects, and that's what we try to kind of condense it to here, is that actually I do have a huge trend that I do more travel locally. Here you see that even for the German population, which tends to be a bit more the kind of going out, traveling abroad, doing a lot of long distance kind of traveling, here actually the majority of the people, 3 out of 4, spend their vacations in their own country. In the US, it's a similar picture. In China, it's even much more, but that goes without saying that has always been a bit more the tradition. So the shift in China is not as much or as big as in the other 2 countries. Second topics, and we'll deep dive into that in a second, is that actually the topic around doing nature or outdoor trips has become much more important. And what we do see here is in green, the numbers 61, 68% in Germany and US, and then even above kind of 90% in China, who are interested in doing outdoor and doing nature trips. And these are 2 pros, right? And this is something which we also could relate to going forward, imagining, okay, how can we also adjust the offering, or what we can also see in terms of, or predict in terms of positive impacts for the travel industry in general, or certain kind of niche or certain kind of offers specifically. There's one con, there's one downside, obviously, we touched on it a bit, and that's the overall prediction or understanding that the business trips will decline in numbers and also most likely in duration. And therefore, that actually people feel kind of less bullish around kind of going to every kind of meeting for a business trip. And therefore, we expect a strong decrease, which also will last a little bit longer in that part of the industry. Coming back to the outdoor kind of trips, the nature kind of people want to kind of discover, want to see. And there are multiple sources which we've checked and pulled from. One kind of we want to kind of bring to you today is an element which is nice, because all of you can also try to check that and use that as a source of information going forward. And that would be the Google Trends Barometer. And if we can then consider search or keywords such as hiking or bike tour, then we clearly see what the overall kind of demand and interest is for certain topics. And what we try to put on the chart here are the numbers from 2019 and up to now, pretty much. And for hiking, that's the yellow line you can see. We saw something like around 55 to 60%, or the other way, so 55 to 60% people kind of looking for that. So that's a relative search frequency. And then which went up by almost 50% the year after, so last year, and it stayed on a relatively high level. Same for bike tours, where we see that this is something which at the end of the day fits 2 kind of main aspects, right? One is going out there, rather being in the nature instead of being kind of in a more crowded event city. And secondly, things you can do on your vacation, which actually then also allows you to be kind of closer to home or in your home country. So, but then also, what are the bit more qualitatively, what are the kind of underlying kind of reasons for that, or what are the trends we also see there? First and foremost, it is that everyone, or a lot of people, actually get used to use the smartphone, their device they usually carry around 24/7 to plan and also to make their travel more conveniently. And you see that in terms of numbers, that it actually went up 12 percentage points in Germany, or even 15 in China, from almost every other kind of traveler these days uses the smartphone as a guide while traveling. There is something around, I want to kind of compare and want to kind of use the transparency for prices and price levels. So what you see as a second topic when traveling, I always look for the cheapest offer. That's something which has been increasing, nevertheless is something which has been on people's mind for a certain group of people for quite some time. And then again, it's around kind of sustainability. When we go into the first and most important bucket here, so anything which is related to the device itself or to the digital kind of opportunities we do have, then we do see that there a big number actually of these days, you call it startups, are kind of digital enterprises coming up here. And these numbers are striking, right? So because it shows you how much effort and eventually also how much money goes into these areas. And we kind of try to kind of nail it down to 3 areas. One being virtual reality. So the possibility that you actually can see and really experience certain locations. And why is that interesting? Because at the end of the day, it can be very interesting also for any kind of provider or company being in the tourism industry to make it more attractive, to look at it and experience it digitally before you actually go there. And therefore you do see also, kind of hotel chains, you do see other kind of regional kind of destinations, setting that up so that people can actually already get a better feeling for how actually the vacation can look like, how the experience can look like. Here you do have companies such as Escape from North America or others who bring up and came up with a great offering here, and which shows a little bit the factor 10 or 12 you see in numbers in terms of startups from this area. We do have the middle part, so the biggest one, where we have been seeing 363 startups in the recent 10 years coming up here. And the personalized travel is something which is something a lot of people kind of channel back that it's more and more important. I want to do a travel, or I want to kind of travel according to my needs and not according to a standard package. And you do have players here, either being in the hotel area, where you do have kind of digital travel companions, or which evaluate what kind of hotels I like, what kind of hotel experience I do like, and to really make me customized and individual kind of proposals, such as porters or activities and experience. And we've been seeing a lot of kind of companies, or when we kind of assess the 300 companies, a lot of companies across the world, one also being, for instance, from the Middle East, Dopal, which gives you a very personalized offering for your individual travel needs and your wishes, and therefore is a great companion. And last but not least, we do have the sustainability side of things, where a lot of companies try to help the individual travelers or also corporations and to be more sustainable and reducing the carbon footprint they do actually have and create while traveling. And you do have and find a lot of organizations which organize a bit kind of the journeys off the track, off beaten tracks. And we found someone in Italy pretty interesting, Mapo Tapo, for instance, one out of the 175 you see here, which might be worthwhile being checked out. All right, I hope you've stayed with us and perhaps give me the chance to wrap our session up. So we tried to put it into 3 major things which we like to kind of conclude with. So the majority of people plan private travel in 21. safety being the highest priority, and even as Claudia mentioned earlier, even higher than any kind of restriction which are kind of enforced to us on a kind of pandemic or state level. But it is, I want to feel safe. They are optimistic, and that's actually that's a great sign, and fingers crossed that this will continue. Secondly, beach holidays and hotel stays are very popular. However, it's always good and dig deeper and look into the details. We do have the situation that the kind of to visit friends and families is kind of a bigger thing in a lot of kind of Western European countries and the US. But also these people still want to kind of also go abroad again. And then we do have a high level of innovation coming up, and this is not surprising if you have an external shock that these things come up. Obviously, no one knows how long they stay or what kind of impact they do have, but we do have these innovations around nature and sustainability, and in terms of, okay, making use of or generating benefits from using digital devices and or digital kind of knowledge algorithm, etc. And I think it sums it up that we do have interesting times, and we do have we try to reduce a little bit or bring you insights and reduce a little bit the uncertainty in these times. And I can just say either now or at a later stage, feel free to reach out if you want to kind of find out more. I'm more than happy to get into the discussion or taking your questions.
Claudia, Cramer and Peter Kautz, thank you very much for these exciting and up-to-date market research data exclusively prepared for ITB Berlin. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear ITB visitors, we hope that you found this information valuable for your daily business, your daily decisions that you have to make. Claudia, Peter, thanks very much. We hope to see you soon again. Bye-bye.
Many thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.